Greetings, this is Bloodrill and welcome back to Let's Play Technobabylon.
How did you know to come looking
Let's keep
for
speaking
me?
to people.
Were you spying on me?
I
on
get
Lau?
it, so freaky.
You wound me, Charlie. In fact, it was Gil's untimely demise that caught our attention.
Gil Vanderwall?
He was one of us, part of our cause as well. His death is unfortunate, but it signaled a much more serious crisis. It meant that we had to step up the timetable for our plan.
A more serious crisis.
Gil was the one who arranged the employment of a certain mindjacker. It was this thief's memory module that led to Gil's death.
Huh. He said he had information about it.
Indeed, he likely would have pointed you in the right direction. If he hadn't, well, I've already read the report you submitted to Central.
Hey. I'm surprised you didn't stay on with Dr. Vargas. You were one of the only ones who stayed on to the end of the project.
Creating Central was one of the most rewarding ventures of my life.
I hear you kept the project on track after Vicky.
After we lost half the team, it was hard, but we persisted. We had a lucky break.
You didn't fancy joining Vargas in politics afterwards, then?
As a glorified caretaker? No. Eduardo and I had philosophical differences about Central's development. But as he was put in charge by the city council, I had to accept it or leave.
And now, you plan to take back what you created.
Precisely.
So she's trying to liberate Central, and Dr. Vargas or his daughter trying to kill them before they do that. If I get the story correctly. We shall see.
That's all.
Keep me informed, Charlie.
Alright, let's save it.
Mr.
Pick
Stepford,
two.
can I have a moment?
Oh my, this guy.
Yes.
I love you.
So, you want to bring down Central?
Oh my, yes, as does everyone here. Though for differing reasons.
What does a synth manufacturer have against Newton's city controller?
A stake in that which follows, oh yes. If Dr. Zhang was simply to remove Central, there would be chaos.
The city's central infrastructure would break down.
Precisely, therefore a replacement would be needed.
Whoever is the voice actor for this guy is doing a phenomenal job. Really, really amazing.
You want to replace Central with a new AI? With what?
The new version is simply a retooled model of an existing system.
Your own.
Oh my, no! It's built from a commercial Archimedes model as used in Eurofed cities.
It'll do the job?
Oh my, yes, as well as any civic management AI in Europe. But thanks to Stepford's personality matrix engineering, it shall act and speak just as its predecessor Central.
With you holding its leash.
Every system needs fine-tuning, Dr. Regis.
Won't services suffer? I know Central. It's orders of magnitude more powerful than an Archimedes.
All unnecessary for its role, Dr. Regis. Our Archimedes in Central's clothing will perform as needed, oh yes.
Actually, everybody so far has a pretty good voiceover. I don't know who the hell they hired, but the whole team is pretty awesome.
Your connection to Gil. It was more than synth salesman, wasn't it?
Oh my, yes, very astute, Dr. Regis. Gil was a key part of our group.
Huh. A co-conspirator.
Oh yes, and our link to the criminal underworld, where necessary. I was most disturbed to receive your call regarding his demise. It signaled to us that immediate action was required.
You had to step up your plan before things went any further south.
Oh my, yes.
How did you fall in with someone like Nina Zhang?
Dr. Zhang has been freelancing with our firm for a number of years. Her work in AI has proven invaluable to increased platform survivability.
Working in mental health for synthetics?
Oh my, yes. She has a number of unique theories of synthetic cognitive development. When she proposed this project to the leadership of the firm,
She'd wormed her way up the power structure to whisper in management's ear.
Dr. Regis, that's a shameful way of putting it. Though she certainly has a talent for networking. She has brought together a multitude of skills needed for this role.
You're not just a synthetic salesman, are you?
Oh my, no, not this particular platform, certainly.
How do you mean?
Well, I'm not the only instance of the Sons of Stepford. There are currently 26 platforms running this personality.
Yeah, he was a
There's
robot.
more than one of you?
Alphabetically ordered, delegated to different roles within the firm. I, Liam, handle special tasks. Oh my, yes. But we all run the same personality.
Huh, synthetics.
And also just realized that his name is Stepford from the Stepford Wives.
You're a synthetic.
Quite so, Dr. Regis.
I should have guessed. There's something not quite right. I think it's the eyes.
A specially built feature of the Sons of Stepford. Oh my, yes. Much of my composition, however, is state-of-the-art.
A walking advertisement.
I illustrate the potential for what one can do with a synthetic, Dr. Regis. Many customers have been
Alright.
You're the one who found my embryos?
Oh my, yes.
Where are they?
Dr. Regis, while it pains me to say this, we simply can't tell you. Then we would have no bargaining position.
You lousy piece of...
Please, Dr. Regis, be assured that they are in no danger at this time. Dr. Zhong is the one with whom you must discuss the release of the information. I have been asked not to speak any more of this matter. Oh my, no.
Were you aware that this establishment serves human meat?
Oh my, yes. It's delightfully macabre, isn't it? I'm sure the experience would be enhanced by being able to eat, of course.
You don't eat?
Some models can simulate digestion, but this platform is unable to. Go on, Dr. Regis. Try something for me.
I'll pass. I'll
Yeah.
get back to you.
Oh my, yes.
I wonder if we can actually do that. Is there any food we can try? That would be quite funny to see his reaction.
Mr. Ron,
What you want?
what's your part in this conspiracy?
Dr. John wants to capture biggest AI in the world. It's going to take enormous memory and processor.
And you're going to furnish her with these?
With all the capital she need, money, guns, labor.
It sounds like you're on board with her plan. What do you get out of it?
Newton is lousy place to do business, Regis.
You reckon it's Central's fault?
Central watches too close.
You can't bribe anyone, you mean?
Exactly. Can't make things work.
Sometimes it's nice not to have a government driven by the wealthy.
We will control New Central. It's a great opportunity for us.
And again, why would he help them? I guess the embryos, of course, but still.
What do you think of Dr. Zhong?
She's very clever. She know what she's doing.
I worked with her in the past. I guarantee the only ones she's looking out for are her and her plans.
So, that's how to get ahead. Cooperation happen when we want same thing. I want Central gone. She wants Central gone.
Don't say I didn't warn you. Did you know Gil Vanderwall?
Sure, everyone here know Jill. We work together. He have connections everywhere.
He was a middleman for criminals.
Exactly. Any specialist he could find. Even Mindjacked, Dr. Regis.
You're one of the richest men in Greater Han, aren't you?
Damn straight.
What are you doing here?
I like this restaurant. I suggest it.
No, I mean, why in person? At this meeting?
That is how we always do it. Cannot trust anyone else. Other people stupid. If too many people know, then Central will find out.
What sort of business do you run?
Some of everything. Factory, guns, biochem, industry farming.
A hands-on manager there too?
Hell no. Give that job to cousins. You ever see Han? Is lousy country. Everything poisoned. Sky is black.
Maybe it's all those factories you're running. What do you know about Gil's links to the Mindjacker?
Vanderwall set people up with specialist talent, famous for it. In this case, a third party needed a mindjacker.
But eventually, he discovered something that made him regret introducing them?
He found what the client's plans were in the long run. If they succeed, our plan to remove Central will fail.
So he tried to stop the Mindjacker.
Exactly. took the memory module he was using to store minds of his targets.
And it cost him his life.
Pity he's working against us. Good mindjackers are hard to find.
Who hired the mindjacker from Vanderwall?
Like everything else, information is not free, Regis.
Good then.
Probably a stupid question, but did you know what they serve here?
Of course, it's people.
The idea of eating human meat appeals to you?
Absolutely. Is why I like to come to Newton. You have some crazy
You're
laws,
sick.
but almost nowhere else will allow things like this.
It's cloned meat, apparently, so technically no harm done. That's the legal foundation.
A shame. Would rather eat real human. Ultimate sign of control of people.
Eat the poor.
Exactly. That will teach them.
I'll get back to you.
Stop wasting my time.
They're all assholes. What are you? Oh, the councilman.
Good evening, Miss...
Dame
Listen to
Imogen
me, dead,
Natalia Revilla
woman.
Quintanilla de Flores.
yeah, that.
You may call me Imogen, darling.
If you don't mind my saying, you don't look like any conspirator I've ever seen before.
Thank you, darling. It's my own unique style.
I'm sure Nina's got a use for everyone here. What part are you playing in her plan?
All we ever do in life is play a role, Dr. Regis. I promised I would assist her when she required. And thus, here I am.
Not as heavy muscle, I guess.
I am very good at networking, Dr. Regis. I taught her everything she knows about it. I lend credibility to her mission with my very presence.
I could understand why some people would want Central removed, the kinds of folks who see it as an obstacle to their work. But what good would it do a celebrity like yourself?
You think in such cynical terms, Dr. Regis. It benefits me because it benefits dear Nina.
You're doing this out of altruism?
Is that so surprising, Dr. Regis?
Yes.
Frankly, it is. Do you know Dr. Zhang?
Of course, darling.
You go back a long way?
One might say that. We were lovers, Dr. Regis.
Oh,
My, they said you came from backwards parts, but I hadn't quite expected a display like this.
Forgive me, Miss Flores. I just find it hard to picture Dr. Zhang loving anything.
We were close. Close enough that I came to her aid now that she needs it.
Alright, yeah. I don't care about anything else.
So
guess
I
the
hear
pure
you're a
background.
celebrity?
Oh,
Why
Dr.
not?
Regis, such an understatement.
You'll have to forgive me, Miss Flores. I'm not big on pop culture.
How refreshing. It's such a shame what the net's doing to the young of today. Though if it wasn't, I wouldn't have nearly the profile I do.
So, what do you do exactly?
I come from a wide background of European nobility. But I can do anything that's asked of me, my dear. Music, talent contests, endorsements.
So essentially, you're famous for being famous?
Precisely, though much of the work is so tiresome, darling. I delegate a great deal to simulations, lookalikes, and synthetics.
That's all
Right
for now,
then.
Miss Flores.
Please, darling, just Imogen.
Only the guy remains, the councilman.
Dr. Regis, how can I help?
I'm surprised to see a city councilor in a conspiracy like this.
Desperate times call for desperate measures,
I
Dr.
guess that's the governor.
I guess
and
you've been
his head,
facilitating things for the plot.
Much as it pains me to misuse my position, that is the case. I've been able to expedite import permits for equipment necessary to Dr. Zhang's plans.
And Central hasn't noticed?
In my role, I'm given considerably more privacy than the average civil servant. No offense, Doctor.
None taken. I just cover the camera in my office with paste. So, I understand what you're doing for it, but why? How does someone in government decide that Central needs removing?
I've read your bio, Dr. Regis. I know that you have no great love for Central. But, in practical terms, I believe it has become a threat to our democratic society.
A threat? How so?
Over the course
Still
of its 20
democratic.
years of operation, Central has begun to develop opinions. For an individual to have done so is natural. For an AI, it is impressive. But in its position, coordinating the actions of government, it poses a risk.
Wouldn't someone notice? Call it out?
There isn't enough to address as yet. It's clever. It's designed to carry out the policies of the Council, and it cannot fail to do so. But it can drag its metaphorical feet, badly implement plans it disagrees with.
You've seen it do this.
Really?
I've had suspicions. Dr. Zhang's research confirms the extent to which Central is developing its own conscience. I believe that you yourself recently had a disagreement with it over its handling of a crisis. Another bombing. Central has done well, but there exist many other options today that are equally valid. We need a system that will effectively manage the city and carry out its instructions, not one that cherry-picks what policies it believes appropriate.
So I guess it's too much of an individual. They can't control it, and they don't like that.
How did you get on board with Nina?
I and others in the Cosmopolitan Party have suspected changes in Central's behavior. We sought the assistance of one of its original creators.
Obviously not Vargas. He loves that thing.
Indeed. Her research confirmed that, thanks to the scale of its operations, Central has been able to form its own opinion on the ideal state of affairs, regardless of the democratic consensus.
So when she said that she would remove Central...
It was a difficult decision, but we had to take it. Central's replacement will carry out its role more appropriately.
And Nina will get to continue her research on Central. Why haven't you simply raised this in the council?
Can you imagine what that would mean? Political suicide. Not just for myself, but it would undermine confidence in Newton's world-leading AI industries.
You're on the city council, aren't you?
Indeed I am, Dr. Regis. Rep for the Southwest Ward and co-chair of the Cosmopolitan Party.
I remember when you got elected. They called you Mr. Incorruptible. I never got that.
That's because of the device in my head, Dr. Regis.
What is that in your head, Counselor?
Why, it's a neural governor, Dr. Regis.
As in, what paroled felons are fitted with?
Similar. While most of those are designed to limit violent behavior, mine prevents me from lying. Thoughts of deceit are met with tremendous pain.
Were you inside?
Oh my no. This was a voluntary choice.
My no.
After all, most governors are subdermal. I wanted my constituents to see it as a sign of my integrity.
I knew someone with one.
Dr. Baxter. I recall reading about his release last month.
I thought it must have malfunctioned, that he was out for revenge. Turns out he's just dead. It's like someone just inherited his hatred.
Yeah, the Mindjacker.
Just to let you know, I voted for the other guy.
Ah, well, that's your prerogative. Any concerns I might be able to address for next time?
I guess I've always voted Metro, since I lived here.
Ah, inertia. Something difficult to overcome.
Very.
Give our site a read. You might find you agree with us more than you think.
I'll get back to you, Counselor.
Anything I can do to help, Dr.
I
Regis?
guess I will end this episode here and begin the new episode when things go boom. Thank you for watching, subscribe, like, leave a comment if you want to, and I will see you next time with more Technobabylon.